New year, new you is what Mojang needs to say about their servers because they've gone down every single week of 2026 so far, it's true, and instead of responding about that, we've got two tweets this last week. The first was talking about the year of the horse, and the second says, I can't believe 2016 was 100 years ago, and then speaks about the Woodland Mansion, but of course 2016 is most known in the community for being the year that the combat update came, and given how many people have been calling for a combat update to come to Bedrock, specifically the offhand functionality, is this a sign that the best of features is coming to Bedrock? Well, hello, I'm AbbyXToyCat, and welcome back to another Minecraft update news video. I've got some good news and some bad news today, and so I'm going to deliver this like a sandwich, and so like the video if you like sandwiches. Is that a real way to say that? Anyway, we're going to start the video with some good news, which is I think that this definitely is on the side of probably a hint at something, even if by accident, because there's no way whoever's running the Minecraft social media doesn't, one, know that people really want offhand for Bedrock, it's such a meme at this point, and two, doesn't know what updates came out in 2016, either because they're a Minecraft OG and they just remember that 1.9 was the biggest update of that year, or because when they were making this joke about 2016 being 100 years ago, because it's actually 10, wow, let me explain more jokes, but it came out, they make the joke that 2016 was 100 years ago, and if they didn't know Minecraft updates, they'd have to look through a list of what came out that year, and they'd realize the combat update was of course the biggest and the craziest of all of them, unless somehow they just didn't look. And so either Minecraft is making a giant hint, or whoever's running the social media is removed from the entirety of Minecraft culture, which would be bad, but it's not entirely impossible. I've got to say, my skeptical position is always that unless it's coming from a developer, it's probably just being funny and funky, but at the same time, you've seen that actually the latest, the Minecraft do actually start posting what's in testing now on their Twitter before it even goes up on their website, and so it's entirely possible that maybe it's some crazy hint, but given that it's one you have to read into, I would still say that the overriding skeptical part of my brain says that, yeah, in general, you have to just assume that somehow people do not have all the sorts of knowledge that you assume are super endemic, just a part of being in the community, and so is this a guarantee of offhand? No, but we already know offhand is coming at some point. The big question is just why is it taking so many years, which means that this could not be a hint and we could still see offhand next week, which might seem more possible when we look at what is actually changing this week, because if you haven't heard, Minecraft is actually about to roll out a brand new update for Bedrock. We believe they just finished its beta phase this week, which means 26.0 is going to release to people, and this is really good news because it does have a really good feature, but it also has some things that just aren't fixed. What are those things? Well, let's do good news, bad news, because I do think that in a media landscape that rewards negativity, not enough people talk about the good things, even as they're actively happening, and so 26.0, this update, is the one that finally adds the settings button back to the menu, and I know that's annoying to call that progress, but still, it's pretty cool, but also, it's the one that brings out this new menu, at least as a choice for some people, and also, crucially, that is adding closed captions to the game, meaning that you'll be able to see when footsteps happen, or indeed when a sheep makes a noise and baa's. So yeah, there is a cool update that we believe has just finished and actually has these features within it, something that is very, very exciting, and again, you just might not hear about. There's a lot of other things going on, and so you might have missed this huge thing, but there's really good news that 26.0 is now 2 to 4 weeks away from coming out, and I would be very excited about that. I'm certainly doing my prep, but the bad news is that even after weeks and months of complaining, I understand why the offhand has taken some amount of months to add. I don't understand how it takes 10 years, but I understand how adding the offhand to Bedrock is tricky. If you're curious, right now the offhand cannot store any item, only a very select few, which is just frustrating for many. I understand how that takes a while. What I don't understand how it's taken so long to fix is boats. Boats now are extremely rough to control, especially at low speeds on ice. This is a really weird thing that's to do with how mounts have been connected, but even worse, in my opinion, is what happens if we try to ride a horse. Minecraft, in the last update, decided, Minecraft decided that it would be really important to have horses, just like this one we're on right now, actually be really, really, really delayed. And that's a really hard thing to quantify, but if you've ridden a horse in this update, you'll know what I mean. Horses now, when you jump, there's a delay. When you ride them and try to turn them, There's a delay in everything, and the official reason is because they've moved to server-side authentication. Instead of just, looking at the horse and trusting it locally, even when you play an offline game, there's still a server running, and the horse is based on the server side of Minecraft, not the client. This in theory has great ramifications for making it a more secure game and making it less likely that people will cheat or whatever, anything like that. But it has the huge downside of making one of the most important mounts that they're going through a lot of effort to let you tame and indeed name tag now, making it feel terrible. And they've responded to the criticism by saying, no, works as intended. It's meant to feel sluggish. It's meant to feel rough because that's part of the server-side integration. No, either server-side integration doesn't come with this huge downside, or you don't integrate it into the server. This weird solution where, we have laggy mobs and laggy boats is just weird that no one has called that one out. And that's why I say it's entirely possible that maybe Mojang doesn't know people want offhand for that. Maybe right now they have missed that, and so I hope not. But still, 26.0 is not the update they fixed this in, but hopefully 26.1, or indeed as we'll know it on Bedrock, 26.10 is. And if you're optimistic about 26.10, it's for a very good reason. I think that we have a very good precedent for this being a good and big snapshot, but also this is good news, bad news, and so I've got some bad news I'd like to share with you first, because Minecraft Realms, the subscription service you do have to pay to use, went down on Tuesday at peak time, between 5 and 9 in the UK, which is between about 12 and midday for the East Coast of America, where most people live, and so that's a pretty bad thing, right? Like, for Minecraft Realms, a paid service to go down on Tuesday, but at least it was only a Tuesday, at least it didn't go down over the weekend. Wrong, it went down on Sunday, and it also went down on Saturday. So Minecraft Realms has gone down 3 days in the last week, but that's fine, it's probably just them having a bad week. Nope, the Saturday before that, the 11th, it actually went down, as well as also on Sunday, it seems, and then the weekend before that, it went down as well. That is what I am saying right here, is that Minecraft somehow has had a downtime of every single weekend in 2026 so far, and what's funny about this is again, to give some good news, I actually was streaming during the first of those outages, or at least during the one on the 11th, and this was when I was doing my mega stream, 7 hours long, and I streamed for so long, it was before the outage to after the outage. Funnily enough, if you're already playing a realm, you don't need access to the servers, which tells me it's not actually the realm servers going down, it's something else entirely, because if it was the servers going down, then surely, you wouldn't be able to play, but you can stay on your realm, you just can't edit it, you can't join it, you can't leave it, or you can leave it, but you can't rejoin, and so that's a really big problem, and so I immediately thought, well, this is clearly something huge, Mojang must be tweeting about this, and so there's actually an account called Mojang Status, specifically to let you know what's happening, and apparently it's actually not been updated since 2024. I think that must have been their big period where they decided to leave Twitter, but there is still a Mojang support Twitter, and they let everyone know that on the 11th and 12th, when it did go down, they actually did fix it, so really good news about that. However, what's really weird here is the fact that they haven't tweeted since then, even though in this last week we've seen 3 major outages. This is a serious problem, and unlike, the horses and boats being entirely unfunctional, which, to be fair, is a problem, a big one in my opinion, the community's complaining about, but at least it's one that you can kind of get around. This is a serious issue of a paid service that hasn't really been addressed by Mojang publicly. Instead, we have the tweets from the start of this video, and so I think I want to have a question here. Does Mojang need to hire a community manager? Seriously, do they need someone who actually relays the thoughts to Mojang to make a better game, but also that can tell us, the community, what the timeline for fixes are? I hate to say this because there are community managers, and a couple of them are people I'm friendly with, but they do not share anything publicly, and the only times we actually get information are when it's about the really bad things like the the chat controls that are coming in because of the Online Safety Act. We're rarely getting any communication from them, and I don't mean us as YouTubers, I mean us as a community. We don't know what Mojang are working on fixing. Do they know it's a serious issue that horses don't work correctly, or do they genuinely think, like the bug report suggests, that it's not? Well, I think that this is a sign that we probably should get some actual attention or some actual support from Mojang, because if they'd have just said, when the big controversy about baby horses came out, if they'd said, don't worry, we've got a good reason, that would have built so much hype. But but they're missing all these moments to do this, and the same is true for what's happened right here. If they said after I can't believe 2016 was 100 years ago, oh, sorry about that was just a social media person, then it'd be disappointing, but we know. And if they said, oh, nothing much we can say about that, winking face. Do you know how crazy people would go? I remember just how loved the old 4J days of news were, and honestly, they didn't do anything particularly smart. They just said, here's a little hint if you want to feel it, and you had to do the tiniest bit of work, but it worked so well. I actually got a response from my new Toy Cat Shorts Instagram account that we've set up. I got a message from there from someone saying, oh yeah, I used to watch your videos a bunch when I was a kid, and I used to go and tell my friends that I'd found some leak from Minecraft because I watched your videos, and I thought, like, you know, as silly as that is, like, yeah, I totally get that. I've been in that situation. I understand what's going on there. I also thought, like, oh yeah, that is a really silly but funny truth, right? That, like, yeah, being able to feel like you know slightly more than everyone else is great, and now the only way you get that is with snapshots, and maybe once every couple years, Mojang will do a little hint for an update, but I think that's a real shame. Speaking of a real shame, and a little smiley face, I've got some very good news for anyone watching this video, because did you know the IBX toy card, the collector's edition card, is currently on sale for its last day. It's actually less than a day as you watch this video. I got, for the 13-year anniversary of this world, a special card commissioned, and then created, and then put into collector's sleeve, and every single one of them will be signed. Only 500 will be in existence, and we're in the last few hours where you can order one of those 500 if you would like to. This is just your last little heads up. After this, I won't be able to anymore. Yeah, it's a very crazy day. Also, just if you want a curious update as to why today is the last day, and why there's no more extensions or anything like that. One, because at some point, obviously, it has to end, so we can start producing and shipping them. But two, specifically, I'm actually getting my PC sent over to be repaired tomorrow. There is definitely some CPU corruption that's been caused by the 9th gen Intels. If you know about the issues, that's what it is. If you don't know, then all you need to know is hopefully my weird PC issues should be going away, and so all sorts of things should get better. But yeah, if you see slightly more console edition videos than normal, then that might be part of why. But also, console edition is great and has never caused me any harm. However, you know what is causing me harm? The fact that next week's preview, beta, and snapshot is likely to be a big one, and the reason behind this being sad is, well, first of all, I won't have my PC. It's going to be somewhere up north, but also I'm going to be somewhere due south, but in, you know, probably Asia or somewhere, because I'm about to start my trip, and so I'm going to have to give you a news video from the road about what will likely be our first big beta and snapshot of the year. Why do I believe that? Well, because Snapshot 25W05A, which came out on the 29th of January 2025, was when they added the Bush, the Firefly Bush, all of the cow variants, and it's when the Spring to Life update got its real theme kind of solidified. And so if Mojang follows the same development pattern, which given a tiny 3-month drop cycle, it's very unlikely that it doesn't, given that that is exactly how it went last time, I suspect there'll be some similar changes this time. It won't be a massive one because, again, Spring to Life looks like it's fairly small, but I'm expecting them to really define the drop next week, and I'm gonna have to look at it while I'm on a plane from India to Japan or something like that. I don't know exactly where I'll be on next Tuesday, but what I mean, I really should. I should get that worked out. But what I do know is that this is going to be a make or break moment for the spring drop, and if it's break, you know, that might be beneficial to me because I'll be on a plane, but I really do think that this is going to be the special moment, and so keep your eyes peeled. We have the 26.0 update for everyone. That is coming out in the next few weeks, but we also have the 26.10 update, the spring drop, coming out in March, or maybe even April, but March is the usual plan, so the March update is going to get its big kind of defining theme soon, and so as cool as it is to follow two updates at the same time, one, you can see how confusing that is, but two, you can also see that now that presents us with a bit of a pickle, but hopefully this video has explained both of those things to you, while also explaining the big problems that haven't been fixed in either update, and that Mojang really needs to get better at communicating with, because I am paying for realms. I actually found out I've been paying twice for years. They just started taking money from the same realm from two different cards. I'm gonna have to try and get that refunded somehow. But yeah, I'm paying money, sometimes twice for this service, and somehow I'm ending up in the worst situation here. But yeah, I feel like so far the response to the Spring Drop V2 has been a bit muted, so will they change everyone's mind on Tuesday? And speaking of finding out, I guess we should say that this is your last reminder that our 13-year special card, the IBX Toycat Collectible, it's done today. If you're watching this video tomorrow, it's already too late, but if you are still watching, then for $35 US, that covers all taxes and tariffs, funnily enough, but that covers all of that, you'll be able to get the IBX Toycat Collectible. Today is your last shot, so if you want to go and do that, you can. If you don't, then, I don't know, enjoy the video anyway. Thank you for watching, I hope you all enjoyed, and understand why it is that I am mentioning this card so much, because every single time I do, someone goes, whoa, I guess I need to get my hands on this now. But if you've heard about it 35 times, then hopefully the rest of this video was useful, because yes, 26.0 is finished based on last week's preview. 26.10 is going to get its real definition this week. Also, Mojang has some server issues that they're not actually claiming to fix, and also there's been the tiniest hint of a combat update. I really do think that if we want to just combine all of our hopium into one place, I'm going to hope that the 26.10 beta next week is going to bring the offhand support, because offhand, think about it, it's basically your baby main hand. You can't do everything your main hand can do, but you can do like smaller versions of it, so if they're updating all the babies anyway, why not update our baby hand? I'm just saying, Mojang, get on it. Next Tuesday, bring out the combat update, and all the skepticism around these stupid horses or whatever else, all of that will go away. Will that happen? We'll find out on Tuesday. For now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Good night.